Welcome to Challenge the Road and the Skyline GTR. Now let's get this out for a drive. I've got a problem with this car and we're going to run through that because I never bought one back in the day. We'll talk through why. Now, back in the day, R34, that was my time, that was my era. Godzilla, Midnight Purple, remember all them? But the problem was, you had Subaru and Mitsubishi at the time, and that's what we need to talk through. So let's get the story, get the backdrop. Now, rallying, massive in the UK then. Subaru, Mitsubishi, Toyota, no Nissan. Now, at the time, you were in one or two camps. You were Subaru, you were Mitsubishi. Now the problem was, and I had this problem, I don't know if you did, I went and test drove a Mitsubishi, an Evo 6, and I felt like I was being disloyal to Subaru. And it made me feel a bit, I'm not sure Colin McRae's going to like this if I buy a Mitsubishi. So I didn't. So I stuck to Subaru. And how I think about that is if someone said to me, oh, I own a Mitsubishi Evo or something, you sort of think, I might go for a drink with them, might not. If they said to me they owned a Subaru, I'd go, yeah, what are you drinking? There you go, pal, boom. And that's how it felt at the time. And then the Nissan was just on the fringes. It always felt like it was an expensive car. So I think at the time they were 50,000. This is a V-Spec 2, would have been about 56,000. But then you had an even bigger problem with this car. You had the E46 M3, you had the RS4, you had a lot of cars around that era, around 2001, 2003, which I went into. You know, I went into a 360, a Ferrari, I went into RS4 Avants, which I think are fantastic. I went into M3s, E46 M3, E46 M3 CS. I didn't actually have a CSL, I wish I had, but I struggled with the SMG gearbox. So what a time that was, and that's why I didn't buy one. But looking at today, got a Porsche behind us here. I wish I had. Did you hear that? That dump valve is incredible on this car. Now we've got one problem with this car. Another problem. We don't know how much power it's got. So they said to me, Richard, it's anywhere between 300 and 500. So we're going to find out. So what we're going to do, we're going to head up a bit further, get a little bit of road that I can actually go in second, and we'll find out together whether it's 300 or 500. But just my feeling on this car, we go through the three things. We go engine, handling, feel-good factor. So let's just start engine. It feels fantastic, this engine. I know it's turbocharged. I'll give you an example. I was in a Porsche GT2 RS in the week, and this engine feels every bit as good. And that was 700 horsepower. But this has more about it than that Porsche engine. There's more drama, especially through this induction. There's more, I don't know if there's more like top end. We'll check that in a minute, but the Porsche seemed to run out. It was like a wave in the GT2 RS. This feels like it's got low down and high up, which reminds me a lot of the 22B. But yeah, I think engine wise, this has got to be one of the greatest engines. Now let's go through the engine now. This engine is an RB26, so 2.6 twin turbo, ceramic turbos, one of the greatest engines ever. That's why these values are going so high. This is the car. Now, for me, this is the car. Now, I had the the R33 was, in my time, the car I looked up to, because that was the car that done the 7-minute 59 at the Nuremberg, and that was the car. Never been in it, always thought it was a bit too big. R34 come out, Fast and Furious, Paul Walker, all the stuff. This is the one. And the reason I wanted this one, and I know, we'll go through the story of buying this in a minute, but I wanted the V-Spec 2 because that's what Paul Walker owned. I actually really like the white. 25% of these cars were in Bayside blue, 6% were in pearl white. So it's a very limited colour, limited car. This was down to 1,800 examples, This one in particular, and this is like interesting when I try and pick cars and that, this is one of the last off the production line, maybe even the last. August 2002 it finished, and this is an August 2002 car, and it feels absolutely bang on. So engine wise, I think fantastic. I don't think you can really beat it. Sounds fantastic. I mean, this is just, hello, that's 4,500 revs, and we got another 4,500 to go. That's not going to happen at the moment because we're behind a little Golf in a little 40. So, handling. Now this has got Olin suspension, and I went through all the settings. It's 32-way adjustable, which is a lot. I've put it right in the middle at the moment. Feels okay. I think I could maybe soften it off slightly. When I got it, it was on a very soft setting, and it was a little bit what I call bouncy. This is quite stiff now. Quite stiff actually, really stiff. So I'm going to need to adjust that a little bit. But from a handling point of view, it doesn't feel as big a car as I thought it was going to be. It reminds me a lot of an M5. I feel like you can just cruise along, and you don't get this in a Mitsubishi. You can just cruise along and it feels a really nice place to be. You could do a lot of miles, you're just cruising along. But all the time, you know you've got this time bomb under the bonnet. And on your right foot at any time, you can unleash Armageddon in this car. And it's a nice feeling. I took someone in this car the other day, and they said to me, after about 100 yards, and I was going 30 miles an hour, they said, this car feels like it's got a lot of power. And I said, yeah, but I haven't accelerated yet. He said, no, I can just feel it's tense. It's ready to go. It wants to go. And that's the thing with this car. It's just got so many different aspects to it. The Mitsubishi's just got wah, 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 wah. This hasn't. You can just cruise like this. Change gear slowly. Drive along. This is our like bumpiest road in the world here, which we do all the cars on. Actually, maybe the suspension isn't far off. It's firm, but it's just... So other upgrades on this car, we've got a HKS exhaust. We've got some HKS stuff in here, which is really cool. Really like it. Got this big center console, navigation. Now, again, looking at specs on cars, 415 of the V-Spec 2's got the navigation. So this is very, very highly spec, this V-Spec 2. So now you see where your 1800 cars, when you get into specs, you get really quite limited because you've only got 6% of them in pearl white. So sort of 350 pearl white cars, 415 had the sat nav. There's quite a few little other features on here. But yeah, it is a mega car. Mega car. Feel good factor. I want to go a bit further because we've gone out and it's been, you know, not the greatest start. There's a lot of traffic today. Obviously start a half term, probably everyone's going away, so it's difficult to get going, but the gearbox feels very good. I think the Mitsubishi is even tighter, but it does feel good. It feels like a 22 mil. If I was going to put it there, it feels like a rifle bolt. And those noises, it's like being in Star Wars. So, feel good factor, I'd probably say it's an 8. Now I know I put the Mitsubishi at 10 because it just feels, the Mitsubishi feels alive like all the time. This doesn't. This is more rounded. And as I say, the biggest compliment to it is a BMW M5. That's how it feels. And I've had quite a few M5s and I love them as a car, but they were always rear wheel drive. Now you've got 4-wheel drive ones. That could be another option again. But this feels really good. It's difficult on English roads because they're so bloody bumpy. You know, everyone, looking at it now, it's just holes in the road, bumps. Actually, we've got a little bit of room now. Okay, so let's drop this down and we can start to see what horsepower we got here. So this is second gear, 3,500. Very good power. And that revved all the way to 8,500 then, you know. Handling, get a bit more into it. This is so similar to the GT2 RS. I'm just getting all feelings of that GT2 RS driving this car. Obviously the GT2 RS has automatic and paddles, but it feels so similar. It feels so planted. It is so flat, so flat. No, I need to drive more, but it feels really good. Now, let's talk about values, because we have to go through that. Now, this is the buying process. Harrison at VVS, I ring him. I'm thinking, I need a GTR. I need a GTR for this JDM collection, but I wasn't into them. When you're not into them, do you? Because normally the cars I buy are the ones I really wanted. I never just buy a car for the sake of going, oh, I got a car. It has to mean something. It has to be like a car of its time or something I really want. And I said, we have to get a GTR before the prices go bananas, but they're already bananas. So we went on collecting cars. We saw this car, 8,000 mile car, and I thought, it's going to be quite a lot of money. And I valued it at 190. Now you have to pay fees on collecting cars because it's free to put your car on, but then you pay the fee. So it kept going up, and I maybe showed.
Maybe we'll give it longer this time. Maybe we'll give it until like 5 seconds.
20 seconds. 19, 18. Come on, baby. Come on. No one bid. No one bid.
Haven't we done it? No?
No! You rascal, who is that? Beep, 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 beep. As we got through, there's 4 people who want the car. Now, it goes down to 3, down to 2. Now, what the guy was doing is like 5 seconds before the end, he'd bid higher than me and then send me like a laughing emoji. I thought, okay. Anyway, goes a bit higher, because I thought I'd won it, I think, at 165. I have to remember back. And then, but anyway, we ended up paying 192. And probably everyone thought, Richard, you paid too much, da, da, da. But what they didn't realise, and it's a VAC-Q car. Now, that's a great relationship with VVS I've got. They noticed it was VAC-Q, nothing on the adverts, no one knew. So that car cost me 160. Because if I import this to America in 2027, I don't have to do anything with the VAT. So really everyone thought I overpaid. They go, but no, you didn't, because you didn't read it, you didn't go through it. And that's what I love. That's that interest of just finding cars. So really, no one knows. I'm in it at 160. You think I'm in it at 192. No, I'm not. I'm in it at 160, baby. You know, let's just go down here. Let's do a bit of driving. It's just like a GT2 RS. That's the biggest compliment I can give it. I can't really feel many differences between this and the GT2 RS. And the GT2 RS is 400 grand or whatever, and they're going to go up anyway. We drove the car. It's magnificent, that GT2 RS. So where do these go then? So you pay that much for a car that was 55 grand, and probably even less, went down in the times, probably 35 grand. Now they're here. So where do you go? Do you stick or twist or bust? Do you go, well, I'm not going to go for it? Now what's happening is, in the R33 market, something like an R433 has gone for 2 million. One of these went for $800,000, very, very low miles. But then what happens is all the other ones have to catch up. So if you said to me, what's the value of this car now? I would say a lot, because I don't really want to sell it because I can't replace it. So for me, the value's already up. Now, I've had offers on this car already. After I bought it, 280, 300. No, not selling it. I'll wait. I'll wait until we get near America, because someone in America is going to give me 500,000, 600. But then do I sell it? And this is the problem today. I was actually thinking, driving around, thinking, what, you know, you're in a car now that's 200, 300,000. You used to be able to drive these, and I was trying to think, how do you get your head around it? Well, what I try and do is I pretend I'm in the £40,000 car, because I think, like with the 22Bs, it just does my head in. If you go out and a 22B I've got is £500,000, and you're trying to enjoy the drive, and you're thinking, oh my God, someone's going to chip it, there's someone there, you don't enjoy it. So all the time I just think, it's 40 grand Nissan, fine. Second gear, let's just do one more big whoosh round here, get a little bit more room. So second gear, it's really starting to come together now, getting warm. I'd like to put the timing gear on this. I actually had it here, but the cigarette lighter didn't work. Let's just go through here. Boom. I put a soft limiter on here through the settings just so I didn't go too high. This is about 8.5, but boy, it feels good. Heel and toe's good. It's quite a long way over with the pedal. Nice aluminium pedal. Yeah, that backfire. Nice aluminium pedals. But yeah, if you're going to get one, you're going to have to get one now, because these are going to go through the roof. Whew. Right, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 5,000. We're getting closer. I think we're within 250 subscribers now, and we had a lot of views from the GR Yaris and Evo, so I really appreciate you watching. If you can forward it to anyone who enjoys these type of cars and things, the content we've got, that would be great. So I'll see you again soon. As the biggest truck in the world goes head on with me. Now it feels 500,000.